This bill in my hand is evidence they don't care about you. They could care less about you. Now, it's easy to feel hopeless and powerless right now. That's their goal. That's how they want you to feel. They want you to look at the remnants of your retirement savings and the closing of hospitals and the destruction of small businesses and the decimation of schools, and they want you to feel discouraged, to look at the wreckage and say, well, I guess they're right. Maybe none of it does work. Because they want to break it all in pieces. When they tear things down that you rely on instead of building them up, they want to turn to you and say, see, none of this is working. Medicaid isn't working and Social Security isn't working because they broke it.
Much like he did with his ex-wife, Donald Trump has chosen to dig his own political grave, and this time, it's on the golf course. For the last 48 hours, he's been absent as the American economy unravels. Republicans push back against his tariff plan, and he becomes embroiled in one of the most shameful scandals of his presidency. It's not just the fact that he was caught in this scandal, but the announcement he made afterward only made things worse. We're going to cover everything in detail, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me now. Before we can get into the shocking announcement that Donald Trump made that really will disturb you, I want to hear more about the scandal he was caught in at the golf course from Rachel Maddow right here.
So they are soldiers from Lithuania. There's some others from Germany as well, but look what they have tucked into their pockets. They have little American flags just below the flag of their own countries, sewn onto their sleeves. In the capital city of Lithuania yesterday, thousands of soldiers and dignitaries, and also just ordinary people, lined up in the streets to pay their respects and to honor 4 American soldiers who died in Lithuania this past week during a training exercise. The ceremony was attended by the president of Lithuania, who gave a speech on the occasion. He said that for Lithuanians, serving your country is not just a duty, but an emotion. And you could really see that among the people who gathered. Lithuanian citizens were moved to tears, moved to genuine grief. But again, this was a ceremony for Americans, for American soldiers. Officials arranged for an archbishop to bless the motorcade before it drove to the airport to start the process of returning those remains, returning those soldiers to the U.S. In our country, of course, it is a sacred tradition that when members of the armed services die in the line of duty overseas, their remains come home to the U.S. in what's called a dignified transfer. Their remains are flown home specifically to Dover Air Base with American flags draped over the coffins. It's a very somber, very important, very serious, very specific ceremony. And a dignified transfer is often attended by the President of the United States as a sign of respect from the Commander-in-Chief. After that very moving send-off from Lithuania and from the government and the people of Lithuania, the White House announced here in the United States that when those 4 young fallen American soldiers landed back home here in the U.S., President Donald Trump would not attend the dignified transfer. He would not be waiting at Dover to pay respects to the service members who died, even as Lithuania's president made sure he was there to see them off. Donald Trump has decided instead that he's going to Florida to watch a golf tournament and to go to a golf dinner tonight. You know, given his previous comments, I guess you could say this is consistent with his apparent level of investment on this issue. I got to tell you, we do not play a lot of tape of Donald Trump talking on this show. We sort of it's not a hard and fast rule, but kind of a rule of thumb on this show is that we try to cover what the president does rather than just what he says. He gets plenty of coverage for what he says. I prefer to focus on actions rather than his words. In this case, though, I'm going to make a little bit of an exception. I think what he said here is its own kind of action. I just want you to see it. It's very brief. This is how Donald Trump, President of the United States, responded when he was asked about the service members in Lithuania after they were first went missing.
Have you been briefed about soldiers in Lithuania?
Say it.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
Nope. What was it again that the Lithuanian president said about service? He said, for us, it is more than a duty, it is an emotion. For Donald Trump, it was, no, haven't heard anything about it. Next question.
This is a man who couldn't have any less respect for the men and women who have served and died fighting for this country. He simply does not care. He is spitting in their faces, the faces of their families, their friends. It is disgraceful. So you shipped, couple gin and tonic, Pete Hegseth over there to do your bidding while you're hitting the balls around with the Saudis. It is disgraceful from Donald Trump, and it only got worse with the announcement he decided to make after he was caught. Donald Trump is participating in golf tournaments over the weekend, and a statement on his progress sent out by the pool went viral. Saturday among members of the press for being tone deaf or worse. After a terrible week for the stock market and the president opting out of a solemn ceremony for fallen American service members to attend the golfing event on Friday. Trump chose not to attend the dignified transfer of remains of 4 Americans who were killed in the training exercise in Lithuania, instead sending Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth Trump, then attended a live golf event. New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman said, the move shows Trump just doesn't care about certain optics, but military family members who spoke to media certainly cared that he did not participate on Saturday. Trump took part in the Senior Club Championship at his Trump National Golf Course in Jupiter, Florida. It was from there that the update on his standing went out as shared by the White House. The president won his second-round matchup of the Senior Club Championship today in Jupiter, Florida, and advances to the championship round tomorrow. The White House is announcing Donald Trump's win, which I don't buy for a second. Instead of talking about the crashing stock market, our economic disaster, for service members who lost their lives that Donald Trump does not care about. They are talking about his golf game. Let that sink in. That is where we are at. This isn't even like North Korea levels of propaganda anymore. We have reached a new point. This is insanity. I cannot imagine a worse, more tone-deaf thing to say right now. But they don't care. Fundamentally, they don't care. And someone sent a tweet the other day about Trump riding around on the golf course that I don't want to get too hyperbolic with. But they said, this doesn't look like a guy who's worried about elections. Now that could either be that Donald Trump just doesn't care. He'll leave the White House in 3.5 years and it doesn't really matter to him. He's just soaking it up right now, or he has alternative thoughts, which should really scare us all. Because if this is the public position he's taking, he understands how bad this is for him politically. Maybe he doesn't care about the politics of it all, and that is a terrifying thought, especially because Republicans don't seem to as well. The way that they're legislating in Congress is political poison, and Adam Schiff called that out. And Trump's golfing and this takedown right here.
This bill would be the equivalent of an atomic bomb on the care and the caregivers they rely upon. Caregivers like Sabrina Bishop, a California home care provider. She serves 3 clients around San Diego. 2 are disabled veterans. 1 receives care through California's in-home support services, all of which is funded through California's Medicaid provider, Medi-Cal. Bathing them, medication management, cleaning, laundry, food preparation. She does it all. She lives with her client, Mike. He is at the end stage of dementia and unable to communicate. He can't dial 911. If he sees any medication bottles, he'll just take them. If he sees a car door open, he might just get in, no matter whose car it is. Here's what she told me. My work means that he has someone to help him, that he can safely live and with dignity in his twilight years. Many of the folks who rely on funding from Medicaid don't have a family who can help with around-the-clock care. And without the services that she provides, which are funded by Medicaid, those people won't get their medications on time or be bathed or fed. We are talking about a person's most basic needs. If funding were to get cut more, Sabrina says she thinks many caregivers will just decide they can't afford to do the work they love anymore. There's already a major shortage of care providers. Thousands of people who need care are stuck on waiting lists. And Republicans in this bill want to make things so much worse, so much worse. Seniors and disabled individuals will be trapped in their homes without anyone to look after them or be institutionalized at greater cost, if indeed they can even find a skilled nursing facility that is still open. When asked what she wants members of Congress to understand about her situation, Sabrina said, "Don't be so quick to cut funding for Medicaid. You yourself may end up needing a caregiver. You may be diagnosed with a terminal disease at your next doctor's appointment. You may have a car accident and can no longer take care of yourself." But without Sabrina and the countless others who do the life-saving work that she does, there may be no one to call. That's what we're talking about here. And yet that's what this administration and this Congress seems intent on doing. To deny this care, to give Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and all of their billionaire friends even more money. And that is a disgrace. This bill in my hand is evidence they don't care about you. They could care less about you. Now, it's easy to feel hopeless and powerless right now. That's their goal. That's how they want you to feel. They want you to look at the remnants of your retirement savings and the closing of hospitals and the destruction of small businesses and the decimation of schools, and they want you to feel discouraged, to look at the wreckage and say, well, I guess they're right. Maybe none of it does work. Because they want to break it all in pieces. When they tear things down that you rely on instead of building them up, they want to turn to you and say, see, none of this is working. Medicaid isn't working, and Social Security isn't working. Because they broke it. Because they're breaking it. And then comes the final step. That's when they sell it all for parts. Where they sell off the Social Security you paid into for your whole life. When they destroy the health care that you and your family rely on. So you're forced to pay for private insurance that costs more and helps you less. That is their plan. And you're watching it unfold in real time. That's the thing with Donald Trump. He's broken every promise he's made. Lower prices? No. Stock market growth? Hard opposite. Your 401k, if you're lucky enough to have one, destroyed. A new golden era? Don't make me laugh. Protecting your hard-earned benefits? They're on the chopping block right now. Donald Trump has broken every single promise he's made except one. The promise he made from a gold-plated Mar-a-Lago podium when he told a room full of the richest people in America, and I quote, "You're all people that have a lot of money. You're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts." Well, it turns out those tax cuts are arriving right on schedule. And we will be footing the bill.
These are the worst people in the world running our government, and it is our job to make that abundantly clear every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.